Welcome. In front of me is a HUAWEI Nova 12S, and today I'll go over unboxing along with a quick look at the device itself. So let's just get straight into it. Now, while I'm getting into the box, I will mention that this phone was released in March 19th of 2024. Now, the reason I'm pointing that out specifically is because what you get in the box is a little bit disappointing considering when it came out, and also considering the price tag of this phone. So to the side, throw that. Now we do get this nice little get ups in two simple ways. Two simple yet inconvenient ways, or at least one of them being inconvenient. So you have App Gallery, which is the replacement for the Google Play Store, because you don't have any Play services on here, as HUAWEI was a bad boy, so they got banned. And then below that we have App or Phone Clone, which allows you to just move applications from an Android device to this one. Which circumvents the problem that if some application doesn't exist on App Gallery, you can just download it on secondary phone, assuming it has Android with Play services, and then just move it over. Below that we have a case, along with some paperwork. I'm not really going to talk about the paperwork. A silicone case right here, and charger along with the cable. So this is a Type-C to Type-A cable, and a charger is obviously Type-A, 66 watt charger. So there we go. Now moving on into the device, let's boot it up. There we go. So while it's booting up, I'm going to start off with the display. So the display right here is a 6.7-inch display with a hole-punched camera, and this is a OLED display, which is pretty nice. 1 billion colors, HDR, though not 10 plus, so it doesn't have certification, and 120 Hz refresh rate. It also boasts a 89.5% screen-to-body ratio with 395 pixels per inch. So the display right here is actually a pretty good part of this device. There we go. You can also see the bezels right here. They are fairly symmetrical, so it does make the device look pretty modern. Then if we flip it over to the back, we have a plastic back, which just kind of takes away from the price tag that this device comes at. And then we get what looks to be a triple camera setup. Now the reason I'm saying what looks to be is because that's usually not the case. So right here we have the main camera is a 50 megapixel f1.9 wide sensor with PDAF and laser autofocus, then 8 megapixel f2.2 112 degree ultra wide lens, and one that isn't even mentioned. So either this is not even a camera. Yeah, I don't think it's a camera. I think it's just there to screw with people. You can kind of see there is some wonkiness going around it as well. Like you can see right here. I think it's just what's supposed to hold this lens. So it kind of looks like it's glued there. You can only see it when you shine the light correctly. Let's actually grab my phone and take a closer look at this. So give me a moment, I'm gonna open up my macro. Super macro. Yeah, this doesn't look to be a camera. Nope, yeah, this is complete bullshit. So yeah, there's nothing there. So that is... I personally absolutely hate things like this. So it makes the camera bump still be big for no reason. It doesn't serve any purpose, and it tries to trick the users into believing that there is more that this phone offers compared to what it actually offers. It's a super scammy thing to do. Just don't put the effing camera on there, or well, not even camera. Just don't put that little dummy thing in here at all. anyway, then at the front we have a whopping 60 megapixel f2.400 degree ultra wide lens. For some reason, the ultra wide at the front is a bigger megapixel count than the main sensor. Now, with that being said, with the front and back camera, the maximum resolution you can record at and frame rate is 4K 30 frames and also 1080p 30 frames. That goes again for front and back, and both support gyroscopic electronic image stabilization. Now, so that's the cameras on here, and honestly they don't really sound too well for the price. If we move over to the internals, that's again where the phone kind of starts to fall apart even more. So battery wise in here, we have a 4,500 milliamp hours with a 66 watt charging. That is actually going to top up your device relatively quickly. It's supposedly from 3% to 100% in about 30 minutes. So that is really fast, but keep in mind this is a 4,500 compared to the more traditional 5,000 milliamp hour battery, while still having a 6.7 inch display. It's just very thin. So I do want to point out the phone actually is thin. It's, if I compare it to something like my phone, which is the Huawei Mate 20 Pro, so like a 4-year-old device, you can see that it is thinner, if we don't count obviously the atrocious camera bump. And in terms of weight, you can clearly feel that this phone is lighter compared to like my slab of glass. But that being said, my phone does have a glass back and aluminum frame, while this has plastic back and what looks to be a plastic frame as well. So it is, in terms of quality, it is significant step down from like my 4-year-old device. The upside of this phone is the display primarily. That's, I think, where most of the cost went into, as it is an OLED display with 120 Hz refresh rate and a decent resolution. So it is obviously the key cost of this device. Now, continuing on with the internals, we have a Snapdragon 778G, which is a 4G chipset, and that is, how old is this processor? Let's see. So this processor was released in, if I can actually find it quickly. I guess I can't find it quickly. So it was somewhere around 2021. At least that's when it was announced, halfway through 2021. So I assume literally like halfway it was released. So it's already nearly, what, 3-year-old processor. The reason I'm pointing that out, and this probably should have been expected, considering Huawei didn't have options to get new processors. So Snapdragons, they don't have access to the new like a Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 even, or anything above that. And the reason for that is because they decided to be a scummy little company that tries to gather data and then, you know, bullshit people that they're not. Everyone is gathering data. You can't bullshit the bullshitters. And because of that, US banned them. And this is, I think, when they still stocked up on processors before they got banned, so they could actually still continue selling the devices. But with that being said, obviously this processor is already severely outdated, and I'm stressing on this point specifically because they are asking how much? $447 US. That is including tax. Now obviously you won't buy this device in the US, so I'm just using dollars as a kind of reference point. In terms of, for instance, PLN, which is where I am from, it comes at 1,799 PLN, which equates to 447 right now at the current exchange rates. And that is a steep price to ask for a device that doesn't come with Play services, comes with an outdated processor, and the only thing that it has going for it is the good display. So yeah, I just can't really with Huawei. They're continually trying to sell their garbage devices at a markup just so they can not go bankrupt, I assume. But no one will in the right mind should buy this device. It is overpriced piece of shit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's running Harmony OS. It's basically got garbage processor, garbage specs, because it comes with 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM, no expandable storage whatsoever. The camera at the back is just the biggest scam with the fake camera there, at least one of those. And the only redeeming qualities are the display, like I mentioned, and the charging speed, which is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie about that one, or deny that. But let's just take a quick look at some other Chinese phone, which I tend to recommend quite often. Let's see, Poco X, let's do X6 and X6 Pro out of curiosity. So, Poco X6 non-Pro will come with AMOLED display, so this one might be actually better, though difference in terms of appearance wise you only will see when you're just doing side-by-side comparison. Both of them have like really deep blacks, and at least the Poco has a much brighter display at 1800 nits peak brightness. It also has the 120 Hz refresh rate, Dolby Vision, 68 billion colors and whatnot. The difference is it comes cheaper at half the freaking price, maybe a little bit less, and comes with a Snapdragon 7, so technically the same tier of processor that this one has, just it's a 7S Gen 2, meaning it's a 3 years of advancements in terms of generations, so 3 generations ahead of this one, and because of that you can obviously expect how much better that would be. It also comes with a bigger battery, faster charging, better cameras, and in general it's going to be a better device in my opinion. And if you want to get a device at about the same price, you get a Dimensity 8300 Ultra, which is comparable to Snapdragon 8 Gen, I think Gen 2 or something like the overclocked Gen 2, which obviously it's one of the better processors that you could get. It is from Dimensity instead of Snapdragon, so I'm giving it as a comparison kind of, but it's still going to be a stupidly powerful device. And again, it costs roughly the same amount, I think a little bit less than this phone, while offering a much better processor, offering better specifications, and again the same thing with display and battery and all that stuff. It's just better, while still costing less than this one. And obviously the biggest plus, it comes with Google Play services, so you can pay less, get more, and be probably more satisfied than buying this. So I highly recommend checking out the Poco X6 or X6 Pro, depending on how much you want to spend. Both of those devices will be better than this one. And in general, the Poco lineup specifically, Poco lineup from Xiaomi is basically the GOAT. Like these are pretty amazing devices for the price that they come at. And the Poco X6 is one of those. They also have the F5 and F5 Pro, which also are amazing devices. The F5s were coming with Snapdragons, I think, like the F5 Pro, compared to the X6 Pro coming with Dimensity. But obviously that's your choice, what you want to go with. But that being said, I probably would recommend checking out those devices instead, and specifically the Poco lineup and nothing really else. Xiaomi makes a lot of devices, but not all of them, in my opinion, are at least good for what you get for the money as specifically the Poco lineup. So anyway, with that being said, this just as typical Huawei kind of manner, overpriced piece of shit. Don't really recommend it. So yeah, smash like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.